Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Today we're diving deep into a story that has just sent shockwaves across the globe, the reported arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. This isn't just a headline, it's a geopolitical earthquake with massive implications. Let's break it down. So, how did this all unfold? According to early reports from the White House and military officials, the operation was executed by none other than Delta Force, the U.S. Army's elite Special Operations Unit. This wasn't a slow buildup. It was described as a pre-dawn assault on Caracas. Witnesses in the Venezuelan capital reported hearing multiple explosions and the distinct sounds of low-flying aircraft echoing through the city during the raid. A swift, decisive action. The capture itself occurred right in the heart of Caracas, Venezuela. Following the successful operation, Maduro and his wife were reportedly immediately flown out of the country. Their initial holding point? Aboard the formidable U.S. warship, the USS Iwo Jima. From there, they are now being transported to New York City to face charges, a rapid extraction from sovereign soil. But what was the justification for such a bold move? The primary legal reason, provided by U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, stems from a 2020 federal indictment from the Southern District of New York. The charges against Maduro are severe: a narcoterrorism conspiracy to import cocaine into the U.S., and possession and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices. Crucially, the U.S. government had previously refused to recognize Maduro as the legitimate president after the disputed 2024 elections, effectively treating him as the fugitive leader of what they call the Cartel de los Soles. Now, this is where things get intensely controversial. Does the U.S. truly have the right to arrest a sitting president of a sovereign nation? Under customary international law, sitting heads of state typically enjoy sovereign immunity, protecting them from the criminal jurisdiction of other nations. It's a cornerstone of international relations. However, the U.S. government counters that Maduro is not a legitimate head of state, and therefore he doesn't qualify for that immunity. They argue that his alleged involvement in drug trafficking constitutes a direct threat to U.S. national security, justifying kinetic action under the president's Article 2 powers. It's a bold interpretation that challenges existing norms. Predictably, the international reaction has been swift and sharply divided. Nations like France and Russia have already condemned the move as a blatant violation of international law. Critics warn that this action sets a dangerous precedent, essentially giving domestic prosecutors the power to trigger wars and undermine the very concept of national sovereignty. The implications for the global order are immense. Let's talk about the economic fallout, specifically concerning crude oil. Venezuela boasts the world's largest proven oil reserves, over 300 billion barrels. In the short term, expect significant market volatility. Crude oil prices, particularly Brent, are projected to gap up when markets open on Monday, potentially soaring towards $65 to $70 per barrel due to a massive geopolitical risk premium. Traders will be on edge. While current Venezuelan oil infrastructure, managed by PDVSA, remains largely intact, any prolonged conflict or civil unrest in Venezuela could severely disrupt the approximately 800,000 to 1 million barrels per day currently exported, primarily to China. Looking ahead, President Trump has indicated the U.S. will be very strongly involved in the Venezuelan oil industry. Analysts suggest a pro-Western transition could unlock billions in investment, potentially revitalizing decaying infrastructure and boosting global supply in the long run. But that's a long shot. Beyond oil, this arrest sends a chilling message to the developing world, particularly nations in the Global South or the BRICS Plus bloc. It signals that the U.S. is prepared to use military force to enforce its domestic laws on foreign leaders, regardless of sovereign borders. This could fundamentally reshape how these nations engage with the U.S. Regionally, Neighboring countries like Colombia and Brazil may face immediate humanitarian pressure if this arrest triggers internal violence or a new wave of refugees fleeing Venezuela. Furthermore, the removal of Maduro could significantly weaken the influence of China, Russia, and Iran in Latin America, as these nations were his primary economic and military backers. This is a massive geopolitical shift in the region. This is an evolving story with profound implications across politics, economics, and international law. What are your thoughts on this unprecedented event? Do you believe the U.S. was justified? What do you think the long-term consequences will be? Let us know in the comments below. This story serves as a reminder that sovereign borders are no longer a guaranteed shield. While the arrest targets one individual, the collateral consequences fall on the global population. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more in-depth analysis, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our updates on this critical developing situation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.